We're going live here. We're feeding out to the folks out there. Let me start this off the way we traditionally do. I'm still not back in the full groove yet of actually doing the show. Welcome back to Stranger Palooza. I'm Hank Strange. Welcome to the show here. We always remind everyone to go to hankstrange.com. That's where all the links, everything that you're looking for. If you want to support us, find out different platforms we're on. If we're talking about U.S. Law Shield and you're looking to save some money, okay, save some money by using the code HANK. When you go to U.S. Law Shield, you can do all that stuff. Here, I'll throw this up on the screen right now so everyone can see this. If you use the promo code HANK, you get 2 free months on an annual, plus the locked-in rate of $10.95 at U.S. Law Shield. A couple of those pennies come back to us, so we appreciate everyone who is signing up using our link. And if you can't find it here in the chat, you can go to hankstrange.com. We can't put it in the description because YouTube, for whatever reason, does not like you being able to legally defend yourself. All right. That being said, big shout out to Franklin Armory, and thanks to those guys for the support of the podcast here for, I think at this point, a couple of years. We appreciate their support. Shout out to everyone out there. Smash those thumbs ups. We're gonna get into this right now. Let me throw everyone up on the screen here, actually. And let's go to the open.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange
All right, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the thumbs ups, ring the bell so you can be notified that we're live, and we are live. Where's my bell? I totally forgot. There we go. Look. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, school bell a ring, 5:45, call for Shabarankin. Who even knows who Shabarankin is? You guys know. I don't know if you guys are probably not that old. You're not old enough to know about Shabba Ranks. There's a song
Shabba
out
Ranks,
now
right?
called like Shabba Ranks.
No,
Shabba
Ranks is, man.
Huh? Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Shabba, Mr. Lover Man, you tripping?
Mr. Lover Man, kill me with it. Everyone, yeah, Shabba. Everyone out there who knows who Shabba Ranks is, you know, throw your spliffs in the air. That's the way to put it. All right, listen. We are live. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on. Come on, we got to do jazz hands. Here we go. Come on, there you go. Jazz hands. Kevin Dixie sparking up a... Damn, Kevin, what is that? Someone's going to ask, so...
He chose violence.
This is the leaf by Oliver. So the leaf actually comes in wrapped in an actual leaf.
Okay.
So it actually comes wrapped in a cigar leaf. Right.
Okay.
So that's why it's called the leaf. Keeps it nice, keeps it fresh. But it's the leaf by Oliver. It's a really, really good cigar. And this is the Maduro. No, it's Connecticut.
Oh, okay. And you're at someplace. I don't know if that's an undisclosed location. So my guest here,
this my little miniature vacation spot.
Oh, really?
All right.
Okay.
So I'm not on vacation, but this is where I come when I want to kind of like get away without being far from home.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. This is episode 821 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. We're going to talk about the GOA Safety and Survival with Kevin Dixie and Trenchwork Chronicles. This is an event going on in Virginia. So here's Trenchwork Chronicles. Devin, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Hold on.
What's the deal? What's your hoodie say here? What is this?
It's the favorite, the original. We don't negotiate with tyrants. You can get those at arlife2018.com. Find my signature line. I'm one of the only 2 on there, but yeah, that's where you can get all those. Man, I got a couple other designs up there too. What is it? Truth is the New Hate Speech. I have that one and 10 Toes Down. But yeah, we just put some more colors out too.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. What's the name of the site where people get this from again?
arlife2018.com.
There you go. arlife2018.com. Vanessa Kitty says, I have rolled CT shade wrapper leaves this month. I'm guessing, is the CT for Connecticut? I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, Connecticut, yeah. So you got Maduro, you got Connecticut. I mean, that's the wraps, and then you can get into like Churchill and all kind of different stuff.
Yeah.
Lengths and styles and
Okay, all right.
I need to cut some light on, man. It's been kind of dark over here.
Yeah, we can't see you. Shooting Gallery NE says Kevin likes those cheap cigars. Joking.
He know better. That was his butt want to say, man, I can go to the gas station and get some cigars. Man, shit, don't do that. Don't do that. I had to school the young boy. That's all right. I got them together.
That's only for rolling Philly blunts. I don't know anything about that.
I mean,
yeah, but actually I do know something about it, but never actually did it.
Want me to go ahead and put these in the mail to you?
No, it's all right. No, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Clover Tax says Devin and Katie on the same stream, about to get serious up in here. Let's do it. So there you go.
Nah, it's gonna be real lighthearted today. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We'll see how long the lightheartedness lasts around here. Florida Gun says Katie rocking that cigar, looking good. What's that, Katie?
What's what? The cigar?
No, you were about to say something. What were you gonna say?
Oh no! I said no. It's gonna be. I agree with Devin. It's gonna be real relaxed.
Okay. Well, yeah. I don't even believe that. I don't even believe it. I've seen Kevin Dixie recently rip the guts out of a freaking what were those things we were hunting?
It was a pheasant, and it wasn't the guts. I mean, I did rip the guts out, but I ripped the heads off.
Yeah, popped the head off, ripped the. Did you even get those pheasant breasts? Did you get those?
I don't think any of us have gotten them yet.
Oh, okay.
But I did enjoy removing the breasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently so.
I mean,
how you
I ripped the head and breasts. I mean, it was a good day.
Put the fingers in the top and like tear it down, right? No, that's not.
Yeah, you're supposed to grab it. You know, you're supposed to grab it by the head and pull the head down slowly, so you can get the head separated to get to the breast. Right? To get to the breast easy. Mm-hmm. But I'm a little rough with the
double
head.
entendre is up in here.
What? I'm just telling y'all what happened.
I'm trying to behave. You know? I'm trying to be good here at the moment. So, for everyone who doesn't know, when I was on the road for the last 3 weeks, at the beginning of that, I actually drove the van, which I'm in the van here, as you guys can see. Yeah, I'm in the van. That's what this is. But I drove the van out to Iowa. And met up with who was out there, Kevin? It was you were there.
Iowa. Let's see. It was you, Lola, obviously the Barnauls crew. So Roy, Randy. We had
Perry.
We had Jarrett, Guns and Gadgets. Yeah. We also had Jonathan, Tactical Toolbox. We had
Wrong-handed shooter.
When I do this stuff, I always forget somebody.
Yeah, a wrong-handed shooter. Was there?
Wrong-handed shooter. Yeah, wrong-handed shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean he's a lefty?
And somebody else?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's a lefty. He's a competitive shooter. If you want to see who we're talking about, he's on Instagram as Wrong-handed Shooter. His name is John, right? I believe his name is John. So, yeah. Who else? I'm trying to think who else was there. Mostly it was Roy in the beginning. Although Roy left us to go to a fight in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, jerk.
Yeah.
Really upset about that.
Yeah, he went to ball out. I mean, we could have all gotten up on that Brownell's corporate jet and flew off to Vegas, which he didn't get on. He didn't get on a corporate jet. You know,
he might have.
I wish some of my friends today were actually. I saw some of my friends today, right? And they went to. There was an RV thing in Pennsylvania, and they went there on a corporate jet, and they were like, we got to apologize to you because we went out to this event on the corporate jet, and we didn't think about you until we were already in the air. I was like, why?
Don't even tell me.
Yeah, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Damn, you didn't even think of it. They're like, yeah, we had we could have sat 10 people in there. I was like, man, this just cruelness, man. I could have got my freaking little Bow Wow on, in that corporate jet. But but that was fun. That was fun at Brownells. There's a really nice what is it, bed and breakfast in Iowa out there. What is it? The Linden. What is it? Oh, what is Kevin Dixie? Oh, this is a cup.
I'm just.
This is a cup.
I can't show a gun on here, but somebody said I couldn't show one attached to a cup.
Yeah,
look at his finger discipline though.
Yeah, it's terrible. Mm-hmm. It's really horrible.
I'm shooting this coffee all in me, son. It's on purpose.
He
Pull the
knows.
trigger when you drink.
He knows the direction he's got it in.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh,
called.
okay.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying there.
I think that place was called the Linden House that we went to. Bed and breakfast, really nice in Iowa. If anyone is in that particular area, it's right off the Skunk River in Iowa. It's a really cool spot.
If it's really nice, really laid back. It's modern too. Like you would just think when you say like a small town like that, but it's quaint, man, and it's so peaceful. Oh,
yeah, so nice out there. Just to, we had a good time, man.
Straw head and some bibs.
Yeah, that was my first time hunting. So Kevin, Dixie, myself, Lola, and quite a few people out there got their hunting cherry popped. Have you ever been hunting, Devin?
I have not. I want to go, so I'm gonna try to be there the next time, for sure. I have not. I want to though, cause there's just an element to hunting. I feel like every man should go hunting at least once.
Yes, I mean, once you do it, actually, it's like, oh, I need to do this more often. So it's a good workout.
That's what I heard. That's what KD said. That walking through the tall grass.
Oh hell yeah, them
really,
fields. Hey man, look, them quads, baby. Them quads was getting that work in.
Yeah.
Hank walked around the damn tall grass. Don't be sitting on here talking.
Listen, I live in Florida. In Florida, you don't voluntarily go into grass like that.
But I mean, you avoided it. There's a couple people that avoided it. I got caught every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
every time.
Did you want to medevac me out of there? Is that what it is? You want to get viral? And by the way, and I just want to get this. I want to get this out there before we get on to the seriousness of the show while we're doing everything. If anyone needs shout outs or whatever, let us know. All that out there. But Kevin Dixie stole my pheasant.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, Katie.
What pheasant are you? Hey, first of all, you thought every pheasant that we shot out there was yours. One. Right? Like, even when you were, like, not looking in a direction, you kept saying, oh, that's mine.
Oh, I have evidence of this. I have evidence. I have evidence.
Do tell, sir. Do tell.
Yeah, there's evidence of me taking that bird out. Okay? There's evidence of me taking that bird out.
Are you talking about the last one?
Yeah.
No, here's what had happened was.
Yeah, okay.
You did pop it.
Yes. Wait. Hold on a second. Stop. Rewind a second. I did shoot it.
No, I'm not going. No, I got to say the whole thing in context. The problem is there was only a little bit. Hold on, let me get this thing down here now. There was only a little bit of the ass that got nipped. So the bird kept flying, and then it ran into Big Daddy, and I had my business.
No.
So
no.
you tapped the back. You tapped the back of the bird.
This is not
just
true.
A little bit. You got a little oomph in there, and then I came through and wrecked shop, and it couldn't move no more.
Okay, that's not how I see it. That's not my recollection.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying what happened. I'm just telling you what happened. I'm just giving an actual recount of how we was treating the chickens out there.
Kevin rolled up on that bird and decided it was good looking, and he was like, "This is mine now." That's it.
That hen was pretty though.
Yeah, he just bogarted me on that. We got a super chat here. I have to get in. Let me get this.
Money.
Flying Rich gave us a couple of bucks. He says, "Happy birthday, Chris Bullis." So happy birthday to Chris Bullis out there.
No, happy birthday, Chris.
There you go. Happy birthday, Chris Bullis. There you go. How old is Chris Bullis? Let us know how old you are right now, so we can all compare. There you go. So anyway, you totally jacked my bird. I see. I'm going to wait until you stuff that thing, put it in your house and everything, get it in a nice position, and then I'm coming over, and I'm just going to take it.
Hank, let me tell you something. Now, you know where we come from, man. We fight over the birds. My bad. I keep forgetting we on the podcast. Let's continue.
I'm not even going to. This is all good. I'm going to wait until you go through the whole process of getting that thing. I'm just gonna like,
I am. You're not going to break in my house and steal my taxi bird, man. No, I didn't, you know what? Oddly enough, I didn't think, because I've been hunting. That's like my fourth time hunting, but it was my first time actually shooting something, right? Because other times we didn't see any game. So I was actually excited about it, and I was so excited. I never thought I would be the person with like a stuffed animal in their house, right? But I was like, yeah, stuff that joker and send it right to them.
Yeah.
That
That
was
should
kind of
be cool.
exciting, man.
Yeah, those are some good looking birds out there. And
Yeah,
whenever we get that pheasant, we're gonna do something like pheasant and dumplings up in here. You know,
that'd be
so
fire.
yeah. Chris Bullis says it's the 30th anniversary of my 21st birthday. All right, so 51.
Yeah, wow, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so cool. Listen, I don't know, uh, what else we need to talk about before we get into stuff. I know if Kevin or Devin haven't. Kevin and Devin, man. Kevin and Devin.
Hey, I'm
Yeah,
here
that's
for
good.
what I'm here for whatever. I'm freestyling. I, Devin. What do you have on your mind,
Yeah,
sir?
Devin, what do you want to talk about before we get into the whole event, or do you want to just jump in here at the beginning? We could probably drop the event through this whole thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can get straight into it if we don't got nothing else to cover right now.
Yeah. Okay. Flying
I
Rich says
mean,
Devon. He put Devon is not in his usual place. There you go. Question mark. I don't know.
I am not. I don't think I was the last time I was on your show.
No, he's trying to hide
Yeah.
wherever he's at. We don't know what these two are up to. We don't
Oh, you'll
know
see.
what
You'll
these
see
do.
very soon.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell these dudes are getting up to here. Okay, so go ahead, Devin. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh, so we'll get straight into the event.
Yeah, let's start it off for the folks out there who don't know what it is. It is the title thing, so we'll get that out. We'll take some questions, but we'll get into whatever else the folks out there want to talk about or you guys want to talk about.
Awesome. Okay, so I myself, Maj, and the GOA have partnered together to bring a full day of information and learning to the Richmond area, the Richmond community. It's called Safety and Survival, and we will have basically four different presentations, workshops, or uh, classes. So to start off, my boy from Felons with Firearms, he's going to be covering rights restorations for felons. He wrote a book called Felons with Firearms, and what he does is essentially walk people through the process of restoring their rights. He figured out that when people went through this process, that it was costing them too much, and that was essentially creating hesitancy for people to actually want to get their rights back. So he decided to be a resource and essentially undercut a lot of the lawyers that were charging too much for people to get their rights back.
Okay.
So I'm really excited for him to do his presentation because I think, especially in the Richmond area, he could be a really, really big resource. And then we
Okay.
have one of my favorites, Tactical Tangerine. She's going to be coming through and covering everything with women from how they dress to other defensive options if you don't want to carry a gun, your awareness and what you should be looking out for when you're in bars, clubs, and all that stuff, and how to carry as a girl, whether you're carrying on in a purse, while you're wearing a dress, anything like that. So she's covering everything for the ladies. And then I have the other OG, Akil Bay from Taylor Defense. He's going to be covering first aid and stop the bleed. And if you've seen or taken his course before, it sells itself. Like Akil is amazing, and I was really surprised that he decided or made himself available the way that he did for me. So I really appreciate him coming. And then to finish off the day or finish off that portion, Kevin Dixie will be teaching the Basic Pistol 101 class for everybody there. We got all of the cert pistols. The fun part about this is that it's going to be in an art gallery. So it's a little bit, not necessarily high scale, but, it's a little fancy. We
Mhm.
wanted to make sure the optics were different than usual
Okay.
and really give the GOA something different from what they're used to normally seeing. And shout out to them. Shout out to Gun Owners of America for getting behind it, sponsoring the event. And I'm hoping we can take this to other cities as well, because I've already had people ask me, when am I going to come, or when would we be able to bring it to their city? So, yeah,
Okay.
that's what we'll be doing. Richmond, October 24th at Artworks Inc. in downtown Richmond, 11 to 5 p.m.
All right, cool. You want to add anything to this, Kev?
No, I think his lineup is awesome. Here's another reason outside of what he covered that I think folks ought to be excited about it. One, you need to understand that putting together events is not easy to do, right? And when you're putting together something with some heart, soul, and passion into it, it's important that people that you are, speaking for or share commonalities actually support you and help you represent, right? Because the better one event does, the easier it is to get support for the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Another thing, too, specifically about Devin, here's something that we all need to realize. Hank, I know your age. We got Chris out there celebrating his 51st, right? I'm in my early 40s. Still relatively all young, but let's be realistic, right? Devin's the future. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So what we pour into young men and young women like him now that are coming in with their own gumption, their own goals, but we can support. It's a big deal that we do it because we want to look up in 15 years and they got this thing called freedom, like secured, right? But they're going to need our support now in order to take those small steps. So when they are our age, they got more game, they're smarter, they're quicker, they know the system better. So when they are then passing that knowledge down the pipeline to other individuals, right, that are now 15 years younger than them, then they can keep that education and information going. So if we don't start supporting them now, then when they get our age, they're going to be like, all right, where do I get the support? So I like the fact that he put his own, his own gumption behind it. He didn't have to be inspired to do it. But if we could support him in the mission and help make sure it's successful, I think that's where we all generations need to come together and make sure events like this that are universal, different, dynamic are supported, because these are the things that our opposition are doing. They're figuring out creative ways to reach people. They're using the younger generation to do it, right? And they don't have a problem supporting them. I think in this game of freedom, we tend to think that freedom belongs to a certain age group, and it doesn't. And we need to make that cool, hip. We need to make it different. We need to make it impactful. And what better way than to do it through the vehicle of the youth? So for me, that's all the extra reason to get behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's well said, man. And just another thing with Devin that I've noticed is Devin has been putting in the work here, for a long time and taking everything step by step, working really hard. So, I admire that, right?
Thank you for the kind words from both of you.
Yeah, I think everyone is just trying to be the star nowadays. And I'm not blaming anyone or knocking anyone for it. It's kind of like how society's structured right now, right? So everyone just wants to be out front. Everyone wants to be the leader and not be, not follow. But I know that Devin has put in a lot of work. I don't want to make it sound like he's just following people. I think he's done a lot to help facilitate and work behind the scenes and help people out and push other people forward and all that kind of stuff. So that just goes to what Kevin is saying right now. That's just another reason why we should all get behind him and support him, because he's been doing this for a while. So am I wrong about that, Kevin?
No, you're absolutely right. I think the thing about Devin in particular is that he didn't mind that. He didn't mind saying, we believe in the same thing. How can I help? Instead of, we believe in the same thing. Let me go compete. Right. Yeah. He's like, how can I help? And at the same time, being able to pick up the game, right? No better way to learn than to watch somebody else mess up along the way, right? So you can kind of be like, got you, don't do that. And then also honing your own skills. Everybody has something they do well that other people can't do. But it's kind of like being a quarterback in a backup quarterback in the NFL, right? You get to watch somebody else go out there and mess up the plays. You get to watch them succeed. Yeah. You get to watch and you get to learn. And then when your number's called, you step up and you handle your business. So I think his number has been called. His ticket has been punched, right? He's on a ride, so to speak. So it's about time just to get him out there and get him moving and let him be creative in ways that maybe I can't do, maybe you can't do, maybe 10 other people can't do, but he can because of his unique skill set, him as an individual. And let's just face facts, he's closer to the age of the individuals we're trying to get to pay attention, because they all are going to either decide whether we have freedom or not. So
absolutely, 100%. All right, Devin, what you got to say for yourself?
First of all, thank you for the kind words from both of you. From both of you, I've already told y'all how much of an influence y'all have been on me. So to hear that back from you two, means a lot. So thank you both very much. But yeah, I mean, I've thought my only talent really was being an asset, and then I figured out along the way that I guess the way my brain functions, also that being cultivated a lot by KD and Maj and John Crump and everybody else that's been an influence on me. I guess helping people organize stuff has become my talent, and it's a way that I can in some way be a leader and still play the back role at the same time. Like, I'm technically running this event, but I'm not necessarily on the stage. All I'm going to be doing is introducing the people to the stage, really. And, you know, being cordial, being nice to everybody in the room, doing the MC thing. But that's really all I like to do, is figure out how I can plug somebody with something else that just makes sense. And
that's not a small thing, though. I mean, that's not a small, like, that skill, that ability, and that willingness to do that's not a small thing. So, you know, and I know Kevin appreciates it. I've seen you doing that, you know, with John Crump. I've seen you doing it with Maj. I've seen you doing it with Kevin. You know, I've seen you doing that, like the way that you move and everything with me. It's cool, man. And it's good to know that there's young folks out there. I know there's more people than just you. You know, but Kevin's right. You got to big up the young folks out there who are doing it, especially in these times when, you know, a lot of the younger folks out there just don't see things the same way. So in terms of, hey, I'm going to put in the hard work to do something, it's almost like I'm entitled to this, right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I'm here, so give it to me, type of a thing. So. Someone is at AP Reloading wants to know where can he get that sweater. I know we mentioned it at the open, but you can feel free to tell the folks out there how to get it again.
At arlife2018.com, and we actually have them in red and black or black and red now too. So
okay, yeah. Very cool. All right, so if anyone has any questions about this event, it is in Virginia. If you're in Virginia, even if you can't make it, it would be nice for you to share this event, help promote this, get more folks out there. If you can make it, if you are available, get out to the event. Where can the people, I know I was throwing things up. Lola has stuff in the description. There's stuff in the chat. But for the folks listening out there, how can they find out more info on this or how to get tickets or what have you?
You can DM me directly on any of my platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think those are all my platforms right now. Okay. I don't think you can DM on TikTok, so yeah. But yeah, you can DM me on any of my platforms, Trenchwork Chronicles, or on Facebook, my name, Devin Perkins. You can also go to the Eventbrite. I think it's Eventbrite /
I'm trying. Let me see if I could see it here. I had it.
Yeah,
up
the
here.
links. Lola put the link in the comments.
Yeah. It is there.
Yeah.
Let me see, and I'll throw it up on the screen.
/safety-survival-tickets.
Yeah. There you
all
go.
The information is there. You can see what we'll be doing that day.
Who's going to be there?
Hold on. Stop, Hank. Slow down. I want everybody to look over to the right next to Taylor Defense logo, immediately above the word register.
Okay, hold on one second.
There's this keyword.
I got to share it again. Give me a second.
Okay.
Give me a second here. Okay, Taylor Defense. All
right, so you see Taylor Defense logo over to the right. You see the green register?
Yes.
Look at that word right above register.
Free. Free.
That little word right there.
Free.
Yeah. And here, and I'm going to go ahead and be very honest about this for a second. I have 20-something odd years into my craft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know Akil has a little bit over 2 decades into his. Ain't nothing about this supposed to be free. A person that has invested in themselves deserves to get something back, right? But the thing that we get back in reward is knowing that people have expanded their minds and they've grabbed more freedom. So that is the payment. So when somebody is putting on something that doesn't cost you currency, right? And all they're asking you to do is just come expand and be a part of the growth of freedom, that being the payment, what's the problem? Yeah. Another thing, when you look at it, one of the unique individuals there, Devin, who's speaking about felons with firearms, let's touch on that for a second, man, because I know that's very interesting to a lot of people. And I'll put myself right out there. I had that young man on my Instagram Live, and he told me about what he does as far as helping people that were convicted of felons get their all their rights restored. Right, you get your gun rights, then here come voting rights. Right, it's a chain reaction. So get their rights restored. Now these cases do have to be reviewed by a judge. Right, so it's not like it's just we filed this paperwork. Like they're still reviewed. So even a judge, no matter how we feel about that, even a judge reviews it. You just have to go through the strenuous process of even getting it to him, knowing how to write up the documents, but he gets to review it too. And then the judge is the one making a final decision and saying, yes, you know what, absolutely, you deserve to have all your rights restored. Here's the thing. The Second Amendment community is so scared of the word felon. Some reasons are valid, right? Because they're like, we're trying to protect our rights. We don't want to be linked to wordage that makes it seem like we're supporting something we're not, because, the people that try to take our rights are already saying, oh, you're allowing criminals to do this and do that. So I get why, without thinking, you would just be like, yo, I got to disassociate myself with that because of the way that we're being attacked. I get that. But when you look at it deeper, you have to understand the more people we can get to obtain their freedom back, this system is not necessarily structured fairly. And we can talk about, I'm pretty sure we will talk about that. But if we can help people restore themselves and get their rights back, kind of get that second chance. And it's, like I said, it's reviewed by a judge. Despite how you feel about that, it is reviewed. So there is a third party looking at this saying, yes, this is my stamp of approval. When I had them on my show, I paid for the very next individual that went through and got their rights back. I paid for it out of my own pocket, right? Because that's important, right? Cool. So I sent the young man his money and he was happy about that, right? But what did that do to a guy that got his rights restored? Now he got his voting rights restored and he got his gun rights back. And then he had the gun community jump in and support him. Do you think we just created an ally that now has voting power?
I would think so. I also think if you committed a felony, which we can have a whole discussion about that. We are all potential felons here, depending on who's running things and what rules or whatever. Whether you think those people are on your side or not, right? It's all good until that system is working against you. But if you paid your debt to society, you should have your rights restored to you. You should have the ability and the responsibility to go out there and vote, and you should also be able to defend yourself. So, I don't know if folks out there don't agree with that, they can definitely let us know. John Crump, let me get this in real quick. John Crump gave us a couple of bucks here.
Money.
John Crump says KD stole my little brother.
I ain't steal him, John. I ain't steal him. But I will trade him for one of them things you got, though. My bad, Dev. Hey, John, low key. Let me tell y'all something about Crump. I've had the pleasure of going to the Crumpler's house, right? John, low key out here clowning on a whole bunch of people that think they got some guns. That's all I'm gonna say. John just real quiet, like, hey guys, right? But yo, John, so John, for the right toy, we could Dale, I'm sorry, bro, but you got that MP5 or something, bro. I'm gonna have to.
I heard from the horses. Go ahead, Dev.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I heard from the horse's mouth that John bought himself a beach house, and I was thinking, I wonder what he's stashing over there.
Yeah, he told me that yesterday too. He also did.
I was like, what is getting stashed at that beach house? That's like.
Did he tell you? Did he tell you about him buying a brand new truck just because one of his cars needed a fluid flush?
No.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just gonna, just go ahead and buy a new truck instead, and did that. So yeah, John's over there stunting,
Yeah,
he's the only person I know that has jailbroken a car.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're heir to like the Amazon fortune or whatever he is over there. Those dudes that live in
little cousin.
Yeah. So okay, let's see here. I don't know if people have questions about this. There are links to this event in the description. You guys can find it. You can find info, I'm sure, from Trenchwork Chronicles from Devin, as well as NOC from Kevin Dixie. If you have stuff, ask us. And Man Against the Masses says, did Crump approve of this live stream? Yeah. Someone was these guys are trying to start rumors, right? They're deliberately trying to start rumors against their own selves. So they started a rumor that John Crump bought out the Who Moved My Freedom podcast.
Okay. What that check look like?
All right.
I'm telling you, if that check is right, listen, I could do worse. I could sell it to worse people than John Crump. He's a pretty passionate person, I think, for the Second Amendment as well as the Constitution. So, so there's a lot of commentary on what we were talking about here.
There is. I'm reading it right now.
Yeah.
First,
Go ahead.
So the first guy said that, I think it was Brian Quick. He said that there's no evidence that shows people who get their rights restored are going to vote for pro 2A candidates. Well, how much are those pro 2A candidates even reaching out to that demographic of people getting their rights back? So, like, yeah, I understand that, but is there even a campaign for them to look at? Like, I know KD talks about this all the time. Yeah, you guys can get mad that, like, black people vote for Democrats all the time, but Democrats are the ones at least going there. Are you showing an alternative? Like, are you giving that person the perspective from a different side? Because if not, you really can't sit on the sideline and complain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if Kevin wants to chime in on that before I do.
No, I think there's so I'll hit that from a different angle. And I just one reason I love coming on this show, because there's always so much thought that goes into some of the comments. Well, you have to look at it like this too. Okay, so none of us have any stats on hand right now to say, hey, people that have got their rights restored vote this way, right? I don't have those stats, so I'm not going to pretend. What I can tell you though is that I've had ample conversations with individuals that have been through this process. And it's an opportunity for education. So now I'm hey man, you got a second chance? Cool. Even, everybody agrees you deserve a second chance. Now, how did that feel when you lost those rights? Now, we know that may or might not be on you. Maybe that was unfair or fair of the system. I don't know. But how did it feel when you lost those rights? And why did you fight to get them back? Because they were important, right? You felt a way about losing them and you wanted them back. Why would you fight to get them back just to voluntarily hand them over once again? And that's going to be controlled by the way that you vote and use your voice. So last time, you might have made a mistake that got your rights taken. You were fortunate enough to get them back. Now, this time, do you just want to voluntarily hand them over? Right? Now, once that information and that mindset is geared up, now it is up to, because I don't tell people how to vote, right? It's not my job, but I'm just giving them a thought process. Now, the people that are going for the votes, right? If we primed up some of the audience, now it's your job, man. I'm not going to tell somebody to vote for you. That's not what I do. But when they look at the information, right, and they can critically think about the information, like, man, this person over here, okay, it's kind of the same song I've been hearing for, X amount of time or whatever. But this individual over here, okay, maybe I'm a little taken back by some things they say, but I only see you on TV, or maybe in the local news sometimes. But these people over here that's singing the same song, man, I'm going to tell you what, they might be full of it, but I do see them all the time. But I've given you a leg up in the discussion and the thought process of this individual to say, if you would just show up and have a conversation, they're already primed to listen to you. They're already primed to hear you out. Now, are you going to do your part? That's what it really boils down to. Or are you just going to be somebody on the TV screaming talking points? And if that's what you're going to do, then you might lose them. So,
I mean, honestly, it's up to those politicians, like as you guys are saying. In my personal opinion, it's up to them to work for that. And what does it even mean when the politicians say that they're pro Second Amendment? What does it mean? Does that have some kind of meaning? I mean, I want to see them actually do something. So I think the real truth in the real truth in all of this, as Kevin just said, if you have to work for something or fight for it or earn that thing, you are more likely to guard it. Right? This is just a reality. Yep. You're more likely to guard it. Now, does it mean that it's like we have this conversation, I think, when it comes to immigration, that like Democrats, and we could flip this the other side, because Democrats are trying to make immigration like, okay, everyone could just come to America, which I personally don't believe in. But let's say they're trying to do that. Does that guarantee that everyone becomes a Democrat? Not necessarily. Now, would a lot of people become Democrats because they think, oh, these guys are just letting us in here? Sure. But then when let's say you do that. Now you're in America. Why did you come here? You came here to be free. When you come here to be free and you start realizing that America is just like that place that you're running away from, you are more likely to start resisting that. And that's just the way that it is. I know that from going through it. I'm an immigrant to America myself. And of course it's true. Like when people just come here to America, they say, okay, I'm gonna, vote for Democrats. Or if you're a black person, you feel, I'm generalizing, you go, oh, I'm just gonna vote for Democrats. Until you realize that someone's taking something away from you and doing things to you, then you start going, oh, wait a second. Why is this happening? And as you dig into it and you start to find out, why is this happening to me? Why are these people doing this or doing that? Then that person could evolve. So there's always the potential for evolution. If you take a person who, for whatever reason, did something wrong, they lost their rights, they became a felon, they paid their price to society, the system decides, okay, we're going to release this person that paid their price, and then they go through the system again to get these things back. It's more likely that they're going to keep working for that, and they're going to want that, and they're going to want to do the right thing now and start thinking about rights. What is this? Why am I fighting for things? Why do I want to be able to defend myself? So it's not an easy answer to this, but ultimately people deserve the opportunity to figure that out for themselves. And if as a society we give away our rights, then we get what we deserve. Overall, yep. whatever that devolves into. I was just looking before we started this. Someone sent me, there's this video with Dave Bautista. You guys know who that is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good Lord. Again?
Yeah. So Dave Bautista, I don't know if Kevin, you've seen this because you're always up on this stuff. Did you see the latest thing from Dave Bautista?
What did he say now?
So there's this.
Anytime he talks, it's never anything intelligent.
Yeah. So I think I sent this to, let me see if I can share it with you guys. I'm just going to put this, we're not going to get the audio playing from this, but let me just share it. So there's apparently this thing going on that Crowder was talking about, and that's where I got it from, so I'm credit to Crowder. But obviously Bautista, this is Bautista talking, he now lives in Tampa, right? So he lives in Tampa. Here's the thing about Bautista. He got into the news when he said that if you have to grab an AR-15 to defend yourself if people break into your house, there's something wrong with you, right?
Yep.
If you have to do that. So we all remember that. So now Dave Bautista is living in Tampa, and he's got a mansion out there that he's building, and he's complaining because it cost him $40,000 to get a wire run to his mansion out in Tampa, and he still doesn't have electricity, and he's talking about the bureaucracy and all the different things he has to go through to get electricity, and he's like, what do I have to do to get electricity? And he's complaining about it. But this is a guy who was saying that, who is siding with the folks who want to take guns and things like that away from us. And now that he's running into stuff, he's realizing that you cannot rely on government to do shit for you. Right. That they're always going to hold you up and rob you. That's their whole intention. So what do you have to do? And it's one thing, like I personally, if someone's breaking into my house, I want all the AR-15s.
Yep.
Everything. But even worse, what can you do against the government, man? Like Biden said, AR-15s ain't, that's not going to do anything for you, right? You're going to have to get F-15s right, and nuclear bombs and all that. When he's running into the wall, he's getting upset. If you look at this video, you see him, he's all upset and mad about it because the government could do that to you.
That's crazy.
The amazing thing about people like him, as I laugh in Vietnam when people say that you have to have this in order to win. Mm-hmm. The amazing thing is Dave Bautista is worth, I just Googled it, he's worth right around $16 million, which is nothing to sneeze at, mm-hmm, right? It's worth about $16 million. He's a phenomenal athlete, right? He's in great shape. He worked and he earned that, right? The dude's 6'5", every bit of about 280, 285, pure solid muscle. Mm-hmm. You know what, Dave? If you back that up, and I understand that he's actually studied martial arts too. Mm-hmm. So if you back all that up, 6'5", almost 300 pounds of pure muscle, got a martial arts background, a hell of an athlete. I don't know, man. In the streets, you might be able to take, at least 70% of the population with ease. But I can tell you this: it will take a 4'2" criminal to run in with this thing called a 9mm, and all that 6'5", the 285 BJJ is out
It's
the window,
gone.
right?
Yeah.
So to say that Americans are cowards if they need an AR-15 to defend their home, I would say you only have that opinion because you haven't been pushed or put into a place where something, bat, brick, knife, something that you felt a disadvantage to was about to deprive you of your life. Because maybe many people don't run around challenging 6'5", 300-pound men.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't. So I think it's a one-sided
If it's a fair
approach,
fight,
and I do
if you're talking a fair fight, but often in these situations, it's not a fair fight, right? It doesn't take that much to pull that trigger. So if someone's coming into your home, and like you said, it doesn't matter how small they are, if they've got guns and you don't, and you're like, hey, so here's my house with me and my family, but I'm gonna be a man about it. It's like a movie. When you see the movie, it's almost like he believes movie lines, like, oh, be a man, put down your guns.
Right.
Let's go fisticuffs and fight it out.
Right, like that'll work with little kids and like teenagers if you're teaching them, not everything has to be about death, but
yeah. Well, I don't believe it coming from a dude that I don't. But here's the thing: I don't believe it coming from a dude who's crying about the government not giving him electricity.
Right. And
just
John
think about that.
Said,
yeah. Let's.
John just said Batista grew up in. Wow.
Money.
He went to Broad Run High School. Broad Run is in the middle of richest county in the country.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way anybody was shooting at his school unless it was a school shooter.
Yeah.
Like a mass shooting.
Yeah.
Other
So this.
than that, no.
This
I
is
used to work across the street from Broad Run High School, and it's beautiful. It looks like they cut out HGTV and just put it on a map.
Oh, okay. This is John Crump's statement. He said Batista said people were shot at his school all the time. He went to Broad Run. What are you saying? Broad Run, and grew up in Ashburn. Asked Devin about that school and town. Yeah, I just drove through that area. Yeah, but
It's East Coast. It's East Coast Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that what is this? Brick says, ask Sean Taylor about being home invaded. Oh wait, you can't. He was killed during a home invasion. Yeah, if you break into my house, I need all the firepowers against you. I'm just telling you.
Hey man, look, we just had it's speaking of homes, we just had, I don't know, Hank, do you keep up with battle rap?
Battle rap? No,
Yeah.
not that much. Not as much as I should.
Oh, you're a New York boy. Shame on you, man.
Yeah, who's battle rap? Who's fighting now? Who's fighting?
No. See, here's what happened. So there's a guy from St. Louis. He's on the Mount Rushmore battle rap. His name is Hitman Holla. People see him on Wild 'N Out all the time. He's one of the guys on Wild 'N Out.
Okay.
So he is from St. Louis. He lives now in Atlanta, and he's hit a stride of success, right? So he's really on his way to the peak of his career. Well, just 3 days ago, he was across the country. His lady is here in Atlanta in their home, and they're FaceTiming each other about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. While that's happening, a home invasion occurs with his woman at home by herself. Now, she apparently did have a gun and shoot back at the perps, but they shot at her. The round went through her face and out the back of her head. Now, fortunately, she survived. She's in a hospital recovering. However, the point is, even a gun, and we never say that guns are going to prevent you from being involved in something. It just gives you a fighting chance. And me and Devin were discussing it. We're like, so if this woman didn't have at least the means to fire back, might that have turned into an execution instead of her being injured, right? Mm-hmm. So when people say what you don't need, what you shouldn't have, even when they're speaking from a celebrity standpoint, you don't even know when you're going to be the next target, right? Mm-hmm. You don't know that. Information on anybody is easy to find nowadays. What if they decide they think that you got a $2 million chain and a $500,000 watch laying out on your dresser at home, and they decide to come in your place, right? Because this last movie contract you signed was for $15 million, right? So I think it's irresponsible to assume, A, that you're ever safe with or without a gun, but B, to criticize individuals that live in neighborhoods that don't have $8 million homes, that might live in neighborhoods with $60,000 homes, and they might incur a little bit more violence than you do every day, and to call those people cowards because of the way they choose to defend themselves is cowardly.
Yeah. Well, especially if you live in such a a wealthy neighborhood in Tampa that it costs you $40,000 to get a wire. I mean, I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had to come up with $40,000 right now to get electricity, we gonna be some no having electricity mofos around here, right? So if he could do that, but yet he's over there crying and complaining about it, yet he's calling people cowards. I think that's the thing, that he just doesn't really realize the reality of that situation. You know, you break into people's homes, you don't have any expectation of fairness. You broke the laws of fairness when you went through that barrier that prevents you from a person's house and their own privacy and safety and comfort, right? So yeah,
it's just like David Hogg saying America is still the only country that defends guns and not people. And it's like, you are really that like detached from society to understand that the people who you claim you want to help the most need a gun every day to go outside. Like, if he's the one that's saying, I'm going to use my white privilege to help black people fight against gun violence, maybe you should understand, one, the real reasons why gun violence is a thing. Two, understand that those are the people that probably need guns more than anybody. It's just weird how like detached these celebrities can get from reality. And it's like, you're literally leading people to a slaughter because you think you sound righteous. And it's like, just shut up. It goes back to, honestly, this where it kind of goes back to what we originally were talking about. Like, when I started being a fan of you, KD, Maj, and all of them, I didn't think of a way to come in and start changing your message to make it sound different to somebody else. I just figured out a way to be a help, or figure out a way to broaden the eyes that would be on your message. But people really will just jump on any bandwagon and think that because somebody asked them to do it, that they should just jump to the front of it and be the leader of the leader and the person giving out the message. And that's just not the case. I tell black people now all the time, we really have to start vetting who's coming in and claiming to be a help, because not all these people with their hand out is actually trying to help you. They're trying to control you and pacify you more than anything. And David Hogg is a prime example. Like, David Hogg literally censored me from being on a stage at his event. And I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this like every time I've been on your show. But yeah, the first time I ever saw that boy face to face, me and one of his other organization members had a very good conversation. They brought us to him, and he was like, nah, y'all can't speak.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so you're not really here to help black people.
Well, you know what? Listen, right now, something that's in big contention that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I didn't have a chance to talk about this yesterday because, one, I just come back, and then two, I didn't look at the Dave Chappelle special, but I did look at it last night, and I know that's like a whole big news thing right now. You know, but if you look, I don't know if you guys looked at it?
The Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you've seen it.
I watched some part of it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be honest.
I haven't watched the special. Oh, you mean watch the actual comedy show?
Yeah, the closer, yeah.
I watched a part. I watched most of it. Honestly, I got what people were saying about it, but Dave's new comedies aren't as funny as like his old ones from back in the day. So.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah.
I watched it just to keep up with it.
Yeah, we'll never get like what he did. I mean, that's why that stuff is so precious. But I think for me, looking at the special, I looked at the whole thing so that I could talk about it. I think the theme, without ruining it. Let me say that properly. For the folks out there who have not seen it, I think his whole theme is that everyone gets into their own little box, right, of what they want to fight for. And then they don't see that with other people. So Dave was saying, for example, when it comes to transgender folks out there, they get mad at him if he makes jokes at them, but they don't get mad at him about any other jokes that he makes. And if he makes a joke about them, now he's the enemy and he has to be put down, he has to be canceled and gotten rid of. And they don't see that as here's a guy, like he says it in there, that I'm a person who walked away from $50 million so I can fight for other people's rights when they do what I do. Like if they're a comedian, and they're out there dealing with Hollywood and all the powers that be or whatever, I'm that person. I walked away from this money and fought that fight, and yet you think you want to cancel me because I say something about you, but I'm a comedian, and I say and attack. If you look at any of his stuff, he attacks everyone.
Oh, yeah. Fair game.
Yeah. Even if he says stuff that we might like it as gun guys, and we're like, oh, he said something pro Second Amendment, I guarantee you there's something else he says in there that's going to offend you. But most of us don't jump up and go, let's cancel him. But people do get into this specific thing. So when you're looking at the folks out there like David Hogg, he's saying that he's standing up for the youth, and then you, as a young person who has a different thought from him that he doesn't agree with, now I'm gonna marginalize that person, which is exactly what they're saying is being done to them.
Yep.
And I think it's the same thing with someone like Batista. If he wants to get, I don't begrudge him his fame and money or anything like that, but he's not a representative of me because he pretends he grew up in the hood.
Right.
But this is how people see it. And then all of a sudden, probably because he didn't grow up in the hood, he cannot understand why people need to defend themselves. This is a thing that commonly happens to people who didn't have to go through what what a lot of folks out there have to go through. This is my big thing about the Second Amendment. If you realize it, it's your right to defend yourself. So if you see a lot of bad things, like why do most people in the hood want to have guns? Not all of those people are trying to rob people. There's some bad people who want to take things away from other people, but most people do that to defend themselves.
Right.
Okay? So they can survive. So they could be there for their families, provide for their families. And they're in this situation where they have to go through this. And of course, someone like that's not going to see or understand, why this person would do that. And I think the overall theme of what Dave Chappelle is trying to say is this is what we do to each other. We don't understand how we're all human beings. And let's say you don't like guns. Okay, you don't like it. You don't feel like you need it. What the hell does that have to do with everyone else? This past year and a half, 2 years, we have seen that most people in America, when stuff goes bad, they go, wait a second. I think I'm going to want to defend myself because when I saw all these cities on fire and businesses being torn up, I didn't see the cops trying to save anyone.
Right.
So
I think, too, even when you look at that whole thing and how some of these people like the Hogs and different individuals go around utilizing people, this was really brought to the forefront, not just with Chappelle, but also with John Gruden. Right? I don't know if you guys are hip to what's been going on there. Hank, I know you don't do the sports balls. So John Gruden is the now former head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, won a championship with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right there in your state of Florida. Okay. But here's the thing, back when, because it's all of a sudden just died down, but and I'm not talking about the sentiment, I'm talking about the organization, the corporate machine of Black Lives Matter was out moving around. There was all this support, right? And I kept telling people, you have to watch, including from their own page that never mentioned black men, but just talked about LGBTQIA plus rights and expansions, right? You have to watch how people they attach onto a thing just to really push their own agenda, right? So even with that, we kept saying like, yo, this is not what y'all think it is. This is a Trojan horse. And it's a massive one, right? The media, the marketing that's going into it, the brainwashing that's going into it. As the thing kept saying, this is not about black men. So case in point, Dave Chappelle says, and I'm paraphrasing, hey, y'all was ready to cancel the baby because of some comments or statements he may or may not made on the stage. Maybe you took it the wrong way, whatever. You're ready to cancel him in his career. You cancel him from coming to concerts, right? Because of something he said, not because of something he's going to put into a song. The baby literally... and I believe it was justified. I'm pretty because he's out, so it is. But shot and killed somebody, right? In a Walmart in self-defense.
Right.
So, and then now that was a self-defense shooting, but people don't ever research stuff. They're like, oh, but he killed a black man and separated. So I'm gonna say, over here too, his music. If you're trying to cancel people for their words, right? Like canceling Dave for his words, his music says it all the time. One of the songs he just put out states that he already killed one guy and he feeling like he need to do it again just to take pressure off his chest. So if you And so Dave's like, yo, y'all were mad at him for that. You didn't even know that he had used the gun. You didn't even know that he had shot and killed somebody. You ain't paying attention to what else he says in his music that might be attacking black men and threatening their lives. So you can kill and talk about killing a black dude, right? To the same unit of people that attach themselves to Black Lives Matter, and nothing. But you hurt somebody's feelings that's gay, and you're done. Mm-hmm. And then with the John Gruden situation, same difference. John Gruden comes out first email. I don't know. Some people want to forgive him. Some people don't, But there was an investigation into the Washington Redskins that led to this. And they pulled over 650,000 emails. I don't know who the hell got time to scan all them things, but somebody do. So they pulled all these emails and they're scanning them. Now, John Gruden, who didn't work for the Redskins but had friends there, was sending the guy that was president of the Redskins at the time, including the co-founder of Hooters and a few other people, sent them an email, and he called the president of the Players Association at the time, who was a black guy. He called him a liar and said he's lying out of his big rubbery lips, right? Looks like Michelin tire lips, something like that, right? So the people say, hey, there's a racial undertone to that, right? Mm-hmm. But even in the talks after that one email came out, it was 10 years ago. Let it go. It's not that big of a deal. He was not going to lose his job for it. It was all good. Hey, you'll take this little PR hit. It'll be over with in a month. You'll be fine, right? A day later, 2 days later, the email comes out where he says disparaging words against gay people, and he got fired.
And he's out. Last straw, the final. That day. Can't handle that.
So. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, when we look at how different systems around here, and I bring it up to talk about people like David Hogg, you want to say, oh, I'm going to be a voice to people in these communities to deal with violence. First of all, dog, we don't need you. Second of all, the kids your age that happen to live in those communities already told you to shut up. Mm-hmm. They did a lot. They already told you to shut up, but they don't really care. And this is what I need people to understand. Individuals like that in different movements don't care about the people they claim to care about. They are just using the validity of their movements or the force of their movements, hyping it up a little bit more, kind of, revving the wheel so it can crash through the wall. But once you crash through the wall and they get into the building, you on your own. Mm-hmm. They just needed to get in the car with you and crash through the wall. Mm-hmm. You are going to be left alone. So I implore all the individuals out there that have movements, that have missions that are pure, and that are after your own thing, don't let cats like this attach to you. Case in point, why wouldn't he be interested? And we know the answer, so it's kind of rhetorical, and having a conversation with them. Mm-hmm. Why not? I can see him telling me and but why wouldn't he talk to them?
Right. Yeah. This is who he's claiming to represent.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like when that little coward turned down my invite, and I know he saw it because he subtweeted me later, and I don't even tweet a lot, but he saw that one. Well, how come you didn't take my invite when he first said that? I was like, you know what, David, I would love to come walk you around St. Louis. Mm-hmm. No security, just me and you. And let's just walk and get to meet people. Mm-hmm. Nah. Oh, but I thought you cared about them. Mm-hmm. Nah, they don't give a damn about them.
That's just, not that much.
Not at all.
Yeah. It's... We have to think about this when we wanna like cancel folks out there, and just realize that everyone's human and doing their thing, but ultimately, I think that there's what you're saying is true, man. People ultimately just want to get the positions. That's what we're living in today. If you get the notoriety and everyone celebrates you for something, or like David Hogg, there was an unfortunate situation that happened here in Florida, and the whole world paid attention to it, and just timing worked out for him, and all of a sudden he's the representative of every kid, in America, when the reality is, when these kinds of things happen, when things like this happen, whether it's at a school, it's at a car dealership, it's at a restaurant, or whatever it is, what most Americans think is, when I face that situation, if I'm looking at this thinking, oh, you know what, I could be in a situation like this, who do I want to defend me? Do I want to wait for the police to come in that moment and defend me? Or do I want to defend myself? One of the things that we saw in the news before we started this, where was it? Hold on, I'm going to pull it up here. So I think it's, what is it, in Norway? Okay, hold on, let me share this for a second. So assailant with bows and arrows kills 5 people in Norway. Now this is horrible and it's tragic. Norway is a place that the cops don't even have guns. Wow. So I'm just gonna read this a little bit for you guys. A man armed with a bow fired arrows at shoppers in a small Norwegian town Wednesday, killing 5 people before he was arrested, authority says. The chief of the community of Kongsberg, near the capital of Oslo, said there was confrontation between the officers and the assailant, but he did not elaborate. 2 other people wounded and hospitalized in intensive care, including an officer who was off duty and inside the shop where the attack took place, police said. The man who carried out the act has been arrested by police, and there is no active search for more people. Based on the information we know, there's one person behind this is what they're saying. The acting prime minister described the attack as gruesome and said it was too early to speculate a motive. The prime minister, who is expected to take office Thursday, called the assault cruel and a brutal act. Police were alerted to the attack around 6:15 and arrested the suspect about 30 minutes later. The community of some 26,000 inhabitants is about 66 kilometers, 41 miles west of Oslo. According to the police, the suspect walked around downtown Kongsberg shooting arrows, and whoever this is, declined to comment on reports that the man used a crossbow, saying only there was several crime scenes. The man has been questioned. So it says town officials invited people who were affected by the attack and their relatives to gather for support. Mass killings are rare in Norway. The country's worst peacetime slaughter was July 22nd, 2011. And then it goes on to a whole thing here. But if you look at if you look at reports on this, right, the cops now are being cautioned to carry guns. So the cops there don't carry guns. Off-duty police officer there. So you're someone assigned by whoever it is, right? Who controls the cops? The elected officials. You're a cop. Right. They don't trust you as a cop to be armed. Okay, so you're off duty. You're there when this happens. You don't even have a gun that you could. They can. They
did that.
Yeah, they can try to ban all this stuff if they want to, man. How are you going to stop a bow and arrow? This is the question that I have. How exactly do you stop? How are we going to make bow and arrows illegal?
They will, though. That's probably their next move.
But we're talking about something. I think guns are rudimentary, right? And you can't make guns illegal. You could try it all you want to. People are going to still make guns. The genie's out of the bottle in that. Now we're going back to super old technology. And guns have been around for a long time. But bows and arrows, I mean, come on.
That's literally like BC days.
Yeah.
You can't. Nah.
Yeah. All you need is a good, flexible, sturdy piece of wood and some kind of tough string type material, and you have a bow.
Right.
And a sharp stick to put in there, and you got an arrow. Flying Rich says a bow registry,
They did. I'm telling you, somewhere in Europe they banned bow and arrows recently.
They're trying to ban everything. I mean, they're trying to ban knives, so even people can't have knives for cooking necessarily, or make safety knives. None of that's the solution to things. I think ultimately the best solution. We're going to have bad people. Bad people are going to use whatever they can get their hands on: bows and arrows, knives, bats, fire, vehicles. Right, whatever they can get their hands on, and what we need is folks there that, if they happen to be in that situation, are more likely to react and at least try to defend themselves. Even if they don't care about everyone else, they could try to defend themselves. This cop that was there could not defend himself.
It's crazy.
That's sad.
It's
crazy. Going back a little bit to how we were just talking about David Hogg, and like you just said, you're not one. He's not from these areas that he claims that he wants to help, right? I don't know. Y'all probably didn't watch it, but Meek Mills was just on $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, and he was talking about how he just interacted with like a group of boys who were probably from 12 to 15, and all of them had guns on them. Mm. And it was because they knew the severity of the neighborhoods that they lived in. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care what David Hogg's scheme is. You're not going to get those boys to put down those guns because they know the severity of the situation and what they live in. Like, mm-hmm. Philly's murder rate is going through the roof right now. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it's really, really strange how they can just completely disregard that person's everyday life in the decision of why they actually need the gun. Like, David Hogg, what are you going to do to fix the violence that's going on in my neighborhoods because we don't have the resources to provide a flourishing life for our communities? Like, what are you going to do when it's just wolves out here eating off of each other? Like, how are you going to actually help that? Because that's where the gun violence, quote unquote, is coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Poverty breeds violence. So are you going to address that? Or are you just going to have these kids out here naked and eventually dead because criminals don't follow your gun laws?
Yeah, but this is also, I think I agree with you, but I think this is also like just a reoccurring cyclic kind of thing that you really, there's nothing that we could do to stop this, right? It's a simple equation. Only force can counter force.
Now let me ask you guys.
There's no other way around that. Go ahead.
Let me ask you, because y'all are obviously more knowledgeable and a little bit older than me. Mm-hmm. When Martin Luther King was doing his whole nonviolence thing, was that actually his idea, or was that what the administration at the time was asking him to do at the time to, I guess, keep the tensions down? Like, was he the pacifier?
When was Martin Luther King assassinated? What was that, like in the 60s, right?
60.
Yep, it's in the 60s. Down in old Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, so that would be before I was born. But obviously, growing up, we were looking at that. I don't know. I'm going to defer to Kevin before I answer this one, Kevin. I'm going to let you.
Well, it was in 60.
Yeah.
He was in 60. It was in 68. So here's the thing. It's a couple of reasons why the nonviolence thing was pushed. MLK one was he did have the more taste of we should be able to resolve things with words and nonviolent force, if you will, right? The sit-ins, the protests and things like that. However, there was another aspect to it. The media machine at the time was already programmed, along with laws, were already programmed to look at a certain group of people and other groups as well, but a certain group of people as a certain way, right? So what happens if you give the media a video of MLK and 500 protesters fighting the police? What happens? How was that spun?
You get to control the narrative, obviously, of that.
Exactly. So then you're able to get more laws, right? More things, because what the people are seeing, because got to remember, back then you weren't getting stuff within minutes. Now we get it immediately, right? So you can kind of sort of see all the sides of it if you care to look. But then no, it would have been spun negatively. So I think it was more of a strategy to say we can't show them or give them any ammunition to show us acting a fool or fighting back against them, because how it'll be spun, and it's actually going to make the mission harder to get through, which was cool because the balance was other groups that was like, nah, knock your head off. So it's cool, right? But I think a lot of people, even I love when they quote him, so I'm like, y'all do, but you do know MLK was a gun owner, right? And you do know that it was the same system that he was saying is unfair that also denied him the right to lawfully carry a gun. So I love it when people that are in opposition to freedom quote him. But that's also one of those things that I noticed, that people that are against freedom and also happen to either know a little bit about or identify as Christians, what they'll do is really use that turn the other cheek philosophy. Right? So it's like, I'm going to smack the hell out of you. But look at your leaders of the past. Because you want to talk about King, you want to talk about X or Tubman or Garvey. You want to talk about none of them. right? But you're gonna say no, and look, the good book says, turn the other cheek. When you look back at me, I'm gonna smack you again. But don't do anything back. Now stay peaceful, because that's what you're supposed to do. So I think that was all about a media ploy, a media spin, but also smart on King and his regiment to say we can't give people trying to deny us freedom more ammunition to take it from us. They just couldn't.
Okay. When I look at this whole thing, right, from obviously not even being alive in that time period, and then looking at it from from someone born outside of America, and looking at it from the outside, and then obviously coming here and looking at it, and like, to borrow a sports metaphor, is it Monday morning quarterbacking or something? What is that thing?
Yeah.
I think it's So, looking back at this whole thing, I think that folks like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were all genuine in what they were trying to do. But yes, there were always people trying to co-opt their message, and those guys were probably coming at things from a completely different point of view. I'd probably be more like Malcolm X than Martin Luther King, to be honest with you guys. I don't personally believe in the nonviolent approach to things like that. I think ultimately, if you're fighting for your rights, you got to fight for it, and whatever it is that it takes, then that's what you have to do when you feel like, hey, this is what it comes to this point, right? I'm not saying I would immediately jump to that, but that's always a thing. Only force can counter force, ultimately. So, but I think these guys are both entitled to their ways of doing things. And there was always someone trying to co-opt that. There were always enemies inside, outside. But I think specifically with Martin Luther King, when you saw the government starting to spy on him and release things, and try to destroy his marriage and do this thing and that thing, obviously he wasn't cooperating with people. If he was cooperating with people, we wouldn't necessarily see that, right?
Right.
So there were some things out there that were happening that at least certain people in the government decided, hey, we're going to make this guy's life difficult or whatever. But I think ultimately, even though, as Kevin is saying, even though he was nonviolent, he still wanted to defend himself. And if it came down to it, just to go back to the Batista thing, I think if Martin Luther King was in a home with his wife and his kids, and someone was trying to burn it down, he's going to do what it takes to defend his wife and his kids.
But you know what the crazy thing is? If you really look at it, if you really think about it, every leader that we just mentioned, and many, many more, were all non-violent. Gun owners, the core group of gun owners are, because some people possess guns and then are gun owners, right? Semantics. But we're all non-violent. We aren't out looking for trouble. Right? You are just willing to use violence as a tool to push back against violence, right? But realistically, all of us are nonviolent. Most of us are nonviolent, right? Even X was nonviolent. He was just saying, if you are trying to hurt me, I'm not just going to let that happen. You're just not going to, drag me behind a car. You're just not going to shoot at my house and throw Molotov cocktails in my windows and there not be a consequence. So realistically, once you really think about it, most leaders throughout history, especially modern history, are nonviolent. They just want to be able to speak their piece, push for the change they want, and if you respond to them with violence, they're willing to defend themselves. And I think that goes for most of us and the people in the chat right now. Well, all of us and the people in the chat.
Absolutely. Let me get this out here real quick.
Money.
From 2A. 2A EDU. He says, shout out to you, Hank, always fighting the good fight and helping people out. So there you go. Jay Wright says, nonviolence to me means not only willing to use force in defense. So, you know what? Can we just jog back for a second here? I think that's very interesting what you just said, Kevin. There's people who own guns, and then there's gun owners, right? Or people who possess guns, and then there's gun owners?
Yeah, people who possess guns and then gun owners,
Yeah, can we elaborate on that a little bit? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there are people that mean nothing but hurt, harm, and danger to people that possess a gun. They have one in their hands, right? They possess it. No matter how they got it, they are currently in possession of that tool, right? And they choose to target us, right? Other innocent people, they choose to target us. They possess guns, right? Those individuals in other subsects are not gun owners, right? Because gun owners will have this kind of underlying tone no matter what got you into guns, whether it's from birth or something happened in your life. You're a gun owner because you realize what this gun is for, right? Whatever brought you to that conclusion is fine, but you own a gun because there's a belief system in you, despite what that is, that you have this gun to protect your life and the equity in your life, right? You're not looking to hurt or harm other people. People that just possess a gun, that might be up to some foolishness, just simply have a gun. They are not gun owners. I don't count them in the conversation.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything to that, Devin?
I think he elaborated on that perfectly.
Yeah.
And I think, that just speaks to what somebody in the chat said earlier about people who getting their rights back aren't necessarily going to vote pro-gun. I mean, even with that influx of new gun owner, the panic buyers, we know most of them didn't necessarily vote pro-gun. So, yeah, we kind of just have to be better ambassadors to those people. And that's kind of the lazy thinking of the 2A community anyways, is that as soon as somebody buys a gun, they're automatically like one of us. And that's not the case. But I'd say it's at least a door that's been open for us to, help them become closer to us.
Yeah, I don't think most of the people in the gun world believe that. I think maybe some people in the gun community, I don't know, that's a mysterious community, but I don't think most people believe that. I think there are some people like that, and even what I would add to what Kevin is saying, which is pretty good, I've seen some folks out there, I've known some folks who are very liberal, super, super, super extra deluxe liberal, but they have guns. But they have this weird thing that, like, only they could have guns because only they have the special abilities, and benevolence to actually own guns. But I've also seen some of those people be the first people to go to violence with those things. So that's the weird thing, and that's why I agree with what Kevin is saying here. I think the real folks who are gun owners out there, who take responsibility for this whole thing, who talk about and fight for the Second Amendment, or do whatever it is, I don't think everyone should do the same thing here. Some people train folks, and some people, support organizations. Everyone has a way that they do it. But yeah, I think most of those, we don't do it so we could flex on someone in terms of intimidating people. We might flex on our friends that we have something they don't have.
Yeah, it's like me and Devin just had a talk right before the show started about Devin is a gun owner. We just got to talk about the gun he owns.
He hates on my Glock 26.
Oh,
I don't know why he has that thing, man.
Wait, ho. You're hating on Glocks, Kevin Dixie? Oh,
no,
wait a second.
I am not hating.
So
I can't even show
HK
you.
Dude.
Because we're on the tubes of the U that,
right.
Oh my God, if you show a gun, you're dangerous. So I can't show the gun. Devin, what kind of gun am I carrying on me right now?
Wait, do you have a picture of it somewhere? I could show that off your Instagram or whatever.
Well,
a Glock 42 or 43?
I got 42. I got my little Glock 42 on me right now.
All right.
I got all the love in the world. People think that I hate Glocks. It's funny, but no, I have ample amount of Glocks. I just don't like the 26 when there's a thing called a 19.
Wait, hold on. Two things there. Yeah. So Devin is saying you carry Glocks more than anything, which is surprising to me.
I'm pretty sure.
Now hold on. Now hold on, Dev. Now see, sir, that's bro code, man. You violating the code, bro. You violating the code right now, man. Like he in violation. Okay. Now look, check this out. I am going to say that the ilk of the 43X, which I know is larger with capacity and size than a 42, and that ilk of gun though, if you were just hanging out, basketball shorts on, walking your neighborhood, they're comfortable, and I know Glock is gonna work, so I'm gonna carry it. Because it's comfortable and it works. I know that it's going to work. I'm confident in that. Right. So I carry. I have Glocks. Look, I got 19, 17s, 40. I got the real Glock 4.
So what's wrong with it?
I have one of those.
So what's wrong with a 26 though? What's the?
Because it's a 26.
Okay, I'm trying to
because
understand.
they make a 19. Just get the 19. It's a snappy ass little gun. It's stubby, right? The 19. I get it because it's easy to conceal, but when they came out with the 43X, they just kind of took away the reason I have the 26. I'm just saying.
I think
Yeah,
but here's what I'm thinking. A lot of bigger dudes do rock a 19 or a 17 because you might have more, or especially if you're older or whatever, you wear more clothing to hide it. I do see that, and I see a lot of younger guys going for like a 42 or 43, which I carried a 43 for a long time. I'm like carrying a Walther PPS M2 nowadays. They're kind of like in the same category. I like the ergonomics better. So what's your problem though with the 26? Are you saying it's small but heavy? I like the 26. I would fluctuate between the 19 and the 26 before the 42 and 43 came out, because the 26 is smaller. But
the 26, for what it was in its day, made sense. Okay, for what it was in its day. I'm just saying.
You're saying it's obsolete or something now?
We don't have to. Nothing wrong with carbureted cars. I love me some old school American muscle cars. They're my favorite. But you can get some that don't have a carburetor. That's all I'm saying, man. Like you.
But a Glock 26, you could put a full size magazine in a 26.
He can get his hands. He is in a situation where he can get his hands on almost any gun, and he knows that. So I'm like, with a thing like the 43X out there. Somebody mentioned in the comments the 48. Forgot all about that one. That's another one. Yeah. Right? Like that could be better.
So this is me definitely knocking Devin right now. As a young dude, so here's my thing with the young folks out there. They don't freaking wear belts. So I don't know if this is part of your whole thing with the 26, but the young people don't wear belts, including Devin. I've seen Devin walking around, almost pants in the ground. I've seen it.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
it was me running around a convention center.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I forgot the belt because I was out of town.
Right.
Supposed to be like
Kevin, this is in Florida. In Florida, he's rolling around, almost pants in the ground, and I'm looking at him like, what's going on with Devin? Because this is how kids are, right? Young folks. Not trying to knock you because you're young, but then almost his gun is like hanging out, and I'm like, Devin, this is not open carry up in Florida. And he's like, oh, really? It isn't? This is what I would say. Wear a belt. Wear a belt. That's my only complaint. So especially now, here's the thing: if you had a 43, you can rock that with no belt, like I do it all the time.
This is the picture that Hank is talking about. Can y'all see that? It wasn't as bad. It wasn't pants on the ground. And those jeans are actually kind of tight. But
okay, yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Enjoy being young and skinny and not believing I'm not leaving the house without a belt.
Skinny when I get old. Like I refuse to be.
Okay.
I'm always be skinny. But when I got my 26, I got it because it was gonna be my shit hits the fan gun. Like if shit hits the fan and I need to go steal mags, I'm taking everybody Glock 19 mags.
Yeah, but I know Kevin has a completely different thing. This would be my thing, man.
And it has an Apex trigger in it.
Okay, that's a whole different...
I don't care about no trigger. Don't try to justify that.
Yeah, I'm not even getting into that conversation. If you're, to me personally, I'm not modifying what I carry on me. I'm not modifying the trigger of it. It's not like I don't care. I don't care about the court thing or anything like that. I just want, like, in that situation, it's all instinct that I'm reacting to. So I don't necessarily want that trigger to be... I want that trigger to be very normal. I don't want to go with a light thing. That's just me personally. So
I feel you.
Yeah. Joe Morris
and I like Glocks. Can we take the opportunity on your show?
Yeah.
To just finally say it.
That you like Glocks?
That I like Glocks. I am literally less than 5 miles from Glock's American headquarters. Okay. I don't want beef with the Glockmeisters. All right. I'm friends with people at Glock. They know I like Glocks. I've been on the verge. It's been real hard. I wound up buying an M17 instead. the SIG M17. But that was like a really hard one because I was going out to get the Glock 19. It was a really hard decision, but I wound up getting a great deal on the M17. But I like Glock. Glock makes great guns. Matter of fact, I've only modified one of them, and that's the Glock 40 because it's built for a certain purpose. The rest of them, I'll leave the way that they are.
So let me ask you a question. What's better, Glock or HK pistols?
Oh, my preference is going to be HK because ergonomics.
No, I said what's better. What's better?
What's better? You talking about like in function and internals and all that stuff?
Yes. Overall, what's better?
Pistols. Yeah, I'm going to roll with HK.
Okay. All right. I'm going to disagree with that respectfully.
Ew.
I will, but see, you put me on the spot with no variables. As far as options go, Glock's got them all day long, 10 times over, right? Period. Concealed carry game, Glock, right? Options, Glock. And you can say reliability with those guns are right here. They're the same. Glock also simplicity, working on your own gun, right? Glocks. So to me, Glock is nothing to sneeze at. Like Glock is Glock for a reason. They are they're uninteresting, reliable. We're
getting a lot of HK. We're getting a lot of HK guys out there, but we're gonna put up 2.8 EDU. He says Taurus is better than both. That's some 2.8.
Okay, block them. Who can block?
No, we're not
Somebody
gonna
block them, right?
No, we can't. No, we're not gonna block 2.8 EDU.
I really do enjoy Glocks. I like Glocks. Glock is. I mean, you can't say anything bad about them until maybe some people don't like the feel and stuff like that. But dude, I tell you what, and this is my opinion as my professional opinion. I'm never going to scarf at anybody that walks on my range with a Glock. We are good to go. Your gun is going to run, right? I am not worried about it unless you've really been mistreating it, dogged out. Even with that, them things still run. They're going to run. They're good, and they have a ton of options. I recommend people go out and buy Glocks, just that one model. And let's go for the 27 too. I'm not just picking on the 26. 27 too. Yeah. So, it's a thing. Yeah. Especially that's why they got the 48, man. That's why you're going to get the 48 or the 43X. What is the capacity on the 43X? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. What's the capacity?
43X? Isn't that like is it 10? Yeah, something like that. That's their answer to the P365.
Turning weight, KD.
Yeah. Look, first of all, I think so on the subject of Taurus, I think Taurus is doing a lot better than it did in the past. And I think nowadays there's lots of good options out there for handguns. If you're making a bad handgun in these days, something is freaking wrong with you. And there are people who are making bad handguns. I'm not saying that that's not the thing, but there's a lot of good options out there nowadays. There's a lot of good options. And I'm a Glock person, but I feel the thing I feel with Glock that's the thing is they're stagnant. They're not really even trying to, they're not trying to how can I put it? They're not adapting with the market and what people are looking for, and they're not offering something. I'm not knocking them for it, right? They do a good job doing what they're doing, so they don't have to. The issue
not innovative.
Well, the thing about it is that if it was just 3 companies making handguns, they could do that and do whatever they want to. But in this environment, there's a lot of people making handguns, so there's a lot of options and a lot of companies getting better.
Hold on, Hank. Let me push back on you. All right. So the options people want now are concealability with higher capacity, right?
Higher capacity, and lightweight, better ergonomics.
Okay, so RDS is a thing. Everybody wants a freaking red dot, right? And they do that. And then you have the concealability. They've done that. Now, if you're going into ergonomics, then that's a I'll have to say, okay, you got a point, right? But as far as what people are desiring every day, the big thing now is RDS and concealability with high capacity.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with everyone getting crazy for red dots. I'm not I have some. I'm not going to argue what you're saying. What you're saying is true. But why is everyone all crazy about red dots?
Hank.
I mean, short of people getting blind, like I'm an old dude getting blind, so I understand why people want red dots.
That's why KD got his.
I mean, even for me, like, I have astigmatism. Like, you saw this, KD. You saw you saw this in real life. Do you remember that, KD? I was shooting something and I didn't have any like specialized glasses on for my stigmatism, and I was completely missing that thing, and I was like, what the hell is happening? So that's why for me, I don't like red dots, because if something goes wrong, I want to make sure I'm freaking hitting what I'm shooting at. And I might not have glasses on or whatever it is at that moment.
That can be addressed during training, one. And I was a dude that was like fighting against red dots when they first like became a thing. I'm like, what's wrong with sights? Right? That was me. I was like, what's wrong with the way we've been doing it, kind of holding on to that old guard, right? But the more that I started working with red dots, training with red dots, going out working with people that was designing them and taking classes from dudes that were involved in the design of them and really understood like their overall purpose. After doing that, for several years, I can say now, man, like I really, truly do see the benefit of them. Now, do I think I'm weird with RDSs, right? So if you have some type of handicap and you can be trained and that benefits you, I'm all for it. But then I'm torn too, because in one way, because they're so popular now, people are like, okay, I'm going to go get an MOS gun and I'm going to make sure, or optics ready gun, I'm going to make sure I put a red dot on it. And sometimes that leads people into not working with the irons. To me, it's the same conversation that we had, umpteen years ago about rifles, right? Can you use the iron sights on your rifles instead of just relying on optics? Well, now optics are on handguns. It's like, can you use the iron sights on your handgun? And then the optic is a luxury. But now we are getting away from that. People are like, no, if I can learn to use this RDS, I don't need to worry about the iron sight. So that's the part of it I don't like. But the technology overall is pretty freaking awesome when you really understand how to utilize it and train around it.
Yeah, I think the technology is great, but okay, one, you're gonna have to get holsters for that, which is, I know there's lots of holster.
That's easy.
There's holster options. Okay, yes. Okay, you got to get a holster. Two, what if at that moment that freaking red dot doesn't work? You forgot to change your battery.
No, but that's the thing, right? It's an electronic, right? So I'm with you on that. But that's why two things for you just go slapping RDSs on your guns. Can you see your irons? Goes back to, do you know how to use them? All right, you should get at least a lower 1/3 co-witness with your red dot versus your irons, right? Normally you just go to suppressor height sights and you'll be fine, right? So you should get that lower 1/3-ish kind of co-witness and be able to operate those irons in case that red dot does fail. I am absolutely 100% on board with you on that.
Yeah. Listen, ultimately it comes down to people's preference. As long as you're confident in what you're doing. Yeah, that's freedom. That's what it comes down to. We're arguing about it because we like to. One thing about gun people is we like to argue about stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, dudes like to argue about shit. We could bring up any subject right now. We'll argue about it. Bring up cars, women, whatever you want to. We're gonna get in here and argue about it. Man Against the Masses says green dot's better for astigmatism.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And AP Reloading says EMP goes off, I'll still be able to shoot accurately.
I mean, and that's why I can tell people, even when you get for people that still won't carry irons on their rifles, I'm a big fan of etched reticles and optics, right? So you still have your sighting system in case whatever gizmo that you have, whatever holographic or LED goes down, you still have that etched reticle inside of your sighting, your optic, whatever you're carrying, you can still utilize that sighting system. So with a white light, you can still get busy. So yeah, train. Just don't think that you're going to put a battery in that thing, zero it, and most people don't even do that, and think that you're good to go. That's another thing too. Like, people put red dots on pistols and forget that they need to be zero. So it's all kind of things that people need to get into. It's the same thing when people were putting like crimson trace lasers on their guns. And I'll have people, back when I was selling guns, they'll come in and they'll want to get those all the time, and I'm like, okay. And we go down and shoot, and it's like they drawing a dang on figure 8 on the target, right? Well,
so you not only do you have to zero it, you have to zero it for the distance that you feel you're going to be fighting in, which is typically a very short distance. There's people.
You can zero it. I mean, you can do it. You can do a lot of red dots. A 25 yarder is a good one for people. Some people are using a 10-yard zero. Well, whichever one you decide to use is fine. You just need to understand your holdover. Now we can get into the whole, hey, but the average fight is going to be this distance. It'll be point
Mm-hmm.
shooting. You might have a point, or maybe it's not. Maybe you're to do this in that church shooting in Texas, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you need to understand kind of your holdover and what your preferred zero means to you. If you have to, push those limits or understand people are close or far or whatever. So training, that's why that's always the answer, for you can understand that. And then whatever you are best at, do that.
Yeah. And let's see. So a couple things. Vanessa Kitty says, 1 must zero any set of sights, put them in, and wish they are aligned, ? Yeah, people do actually do that, though, believe it or not. I've done some training with cops that their duty stuff is not zeroed at all, or definitely not zero for where they're going to need it, and they're more highly likely statistically to have to do that. What's that?
Lola's asked the question like 3 times. I think we probably should answer it.
Yes, go ahead. Lola says, is the pistol 101 at the event hands-on or classroom instruction only? I know, I saw that before.
Right. Hands-on classroom instruction with cert pistols.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the answer for that. So we'll be in the class. We'll have a bunch of cert pistols for everybody, and we'll go over handgun 101 using cert pistols as our training tool.
Yeah. Devin, do you want to remind everyone of the event once again? I know this is a GOA event. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I closed it. It's there's links to it in the description for anyone who wants to know. But Devin, tell the folks out there about that event again before we forget.
Yes, myself and GOA have partnered together to create Safe and Survival. It's a day of training, Richmond, Virginia. It's at Artworks Inc. in downtown. It's just a whole day of learning. Everything is hands-on, so you don't have to sit there and get bored. To pair it with Katie just answered. Yeah, we have the cert pistols coming from Black Guns Matter. So shout out to Maj. I don't know anybody else that just let somebody borrow 50 cert pistols, but that's the homie. So
I mean, who the hell else has 50 cert pistols
besides cert, Maj?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that's
and those are like, I feel like those cert pistols have been used. Damn, like he does it. He'll let like anybody in his circle. He'll let you use them as long as you figure out a way to get them and get them back to him. So I know people that won't let you borrow their one cert pistol, and he just let me get 50 of them.
Yeah, I'm not letting. If I had one, I wouldn't let anyone borrow it. So
But yeah,
that's how
big
that
shout out
goes.
to him.
Yeah,
and yeah, man, like we said earlier, it's a free event. Y'all getting food, y'all get to look at artwork. You're gonna be in a really, really dope production. So yeah, come out.
What kind of artwork is this? I'm curious. What kind of?
I'm pretty sure it's just modern abstract artwork.
What's the name of the hold on, let me see if I could look it up here. And by the way, I could probably share that that website here. I think Lola sent it to me, so I could show you guys. This is the Eventbrite website for anyone looking. Here you go. Date and time: Sunday, October 24th, Monday, October 25th. Artworks Inc. 320 Hull Street. So that's where you'll find it. You can hit up either Kevin Dixie or Devin. Let's see, Artworks Inc. We got to search that. See I don't know if anyone out there is a fan of art.
Yeah, they're a art studio that also doubles as an event space. So they let artists come in, use the studios, and also put it on the walls. And then during the event time, we get to use it as decoration for whatever event. And that was kind of what I wanted to I really wanted to get the GOA involved in, is to start not looking like the typical stereotypical gun owner, and really just start looking more like the everyday American who really does carry guns. So I figured the heart of Richmond was a perfect spot, especially because Virginia is where gun control started. We're actually going to be having a roundtable discussion about the racist history of gun control. That's another reason why I got Kevin Dixie, because who else better to talk about that than the guy with the guns that fights gun control? So, yeah, it's going to be fun. I got Sunny Johnson. Or if you're not familiar with her, Google her and you'll thank me later. but she's gonna be there. And then I got my adopted little sister Olivia Rondo, who is another budding star in the conservative movement. She's gonna be out and
I'm just
giving
playing
her
some stuff from
perspective.
artworks here, by the way, from the website,
Oh yeah,
just so people could see. It looks like a nice place, and just so folks can get an
yeah.
idea of some of the art.
Oh
and stuff
yeah,
that's going
this
on.
thing
It's
is
very
free,
classy.
but it was not cheap at all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
Looks like people do weddings and stuff like that there as well. So it looks like a nice,
Right.
you know. And I'm just looking up what kind of artwork they're showing. So
Oh
everyone
yeah.
out there has their own kind of art that they're into and they collect. So you always want
Do
to
we
know
have
that
any
stuff.
gun art museums yet, or studios, or spaces?
I don't, not that I know of. If the folks out there know, do we have any gun
We-
artists? I think that's a good question right there.
Oh
There's
yeah, for
there's
sure.
there's a couple.
Matter of fact, I'm not supposed to tell people this, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Mhm.
Peter from Carolina Custom Foam, he's the one that made the flyer for the event.
Okay.
So shout out to him. Yes, he is definitely a 2A artist and
Yeah.
does a very good job. There's
Yeah.
another one.
I know Czar
He's a
from
competitive
Peacetime.
shooter.
Okay, I know. Have you guys ever heard of Peacetime 38?
I have it.
No.
You haven't? Okay. So Czar Llewellyn, who is an artist, we've actually had him on the show. He's he's black and he's an artist out there. He's got some really expensive works of art that are out there that he does. But he also owns this company called Peacetime 38, and they make watches. That's what I'm sharing here right now.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
he's a gun guy. He's definitely a gun guy. He's been on the show. I actually have this one here. So does John Crump, by the way. This is the Sao Paulo.
Oh, is that how much? Now, how much did that set you back?
If you have to ask about the prices, Kevin Dixie,
Yeah, are those ones that started like 6K?
These are expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's artwork. It's artwork, and it's a pro gun
I get it.
guy,
I'm not
and
saying
yeah.
Not saying it's not worth it.
Yeah. So I think typically the Sao Paulo is in the 10 grand realm. So.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, Hank. I haven't done enough podcasts just to afford that. So.
How do y'all feel about a 2A art exhibit event?
I think it would be cool. We could probably get Czar to do. Well,
All right, hold
I don't
on.
know if
We're
we
not
can
gonna
get him
talk
to do
about that.
his
We're
art
not going to
pieces.
talk about that anymore from this point forward. That's all I
What?
needed to hear.
Yeah,
Because I need
his
anybody
art piece.
stealing my
Oh,
idea.
his art pieces though are like $150,000 and stuff like that, man. Ask
Damn.
John Crump about Czar Llewellyn. Let me see if I could pull up his.
I'm hold up. If John is still here, answer this. Is that the watch that you had on that Beretta 92 that was like a 1 of 1?
Probably.
John has some crazy expensive watch, and he does the noir thing where he'll like put the gun and the watch together, and everything is fucking expensive. And John
Yeah.
does that too.
This is Czar right here. I think this is him getting a haircut or something like that. He looks like he's a boxer right here, but he's a good dude, And here's his watches. You guys should definitely look. He from time to time he offers people discounts and stuff, and I'm always sharing it.
Probably
But
like
but
8 grand.
yeah, in that range. I don't want to say exactly what his things are going to be. That's why I'm not talking about it. But he does
But
offer.
watches.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Hank, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Now, watches to me are very. I treat them. I know there are people out there that are really like. Look, you see me rocking my G-Shock. You don't know nothing about that though.
Okay.
You know about that G-Shock.
I have a G-Shock on right now, son.
Okay.
Look at that. Check that out right there.
My
Let's see.
bad. I didn't mean no disrespect.
G-Shock
My bad.
right there.
Okay, my apologies, my brother. My apologies. What I will say is
this is
I
a
tease
special.
about
This
the
is a
cost of
special
it.
one. This is a special one, though.
I tease about the cost
gotta
of it, but
flex
the
on
man
you.
knows the man knows the value of his work. I tease about the cost of it. Watches to me are just one of them things. I get like everybody has their niche, right? Like I'll go out and spend money on certain things, blah blah blah. And I look at like watches, chains, earrings, anything like that. Like you start creeping above like the $200 mark on me, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But then I can go look at a $2,000 rifle, be like, oh, that's a deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, everyone has their different things that they like. I mean, I do like watches, and I think, like, real men should actually wear a watch, not a smartwatch or anything like that. It could be digital. It could be like an automatic timepiece and all that kind of stuff. I like the automatic ones, but every now and then I rock like a digital watch. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not getting an iWatch though. That's where I have a, that's
Really?
where
Why
I
not?
have a problem. I have a problem with that, man. I just have a philosophical issue with that. You already have your phone. Now you wear, I know it's convenient for people, but I'm on my wrist. I'm gonna put an actual watch. Even a Casio, a G-Shock or whatever. G-Shocks to me are cool. I mean,
They're beasts, man. Like, I actually had a really nice guy.
hold on. Let me
before
get a
I
close up.
moved.
Let me get a close up, Kevin. Hold on. Let's see this. Yeah.
Well, this little thing, like, I love this thing. And when the guy presented it to me, he was like, "Hey, I just want to give you this." This watch is kind of cool because he gave it to me because it was red and black, or black and with red on it, and it was a gift because of my fight for the 2A. So I like really, really like this watch because of that.
Yeah. Is that supposed to be like a truth watch? At some point, Kevin
No,
will
but
come out with a
he
truth
was really on
watch.
point with the color scheme.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I
What-
like the fact that he was like, "Hey, man, this is just a gift. Appreciate what you're doing for the Second Amendment." I was like, "Damn, that's awesome."
No bull.
Yeah.
A G-Shock.
Yeah. Appalachian Gunrunner says, "I don't wear watches. I follow the sun." Okay.
He just does the human.
Now that's a
sundial.
real man.
Yeah. Gun Doctor says, #Old Man Hank. Yeah. For reals. I'm always going to have a car with an actual engine in it. I don't care what happens with technology. And I have a Tesla, but whatever. I'm always going to have a car with an actual engine.
Hold on. So you have a Tesla, but you won't get an iWatch?
No. Why? That's no, I won't. No, Tesla's a completely different beast. I mean, I got one because I just want to see how. To me, that's the epitome, like of an electric car. I want to see how it is, if I liked it and all that kind of stuff, which I do. But Lola completely taxed that thing, so Lola rocks that right now. She loves that, and especially now when gas prices are going up. Lola was just teasing me before we started this thing because I had to go fill up the tank and get gas for the van, and Lola was like, "Well, that's your problem." So
does your van have a separate battery to charge your Tesla too?
it could. I could charge the Tesla if I wanted to off of it. Yeah, it has lithium
dope.
batteries. You could plug stuff.
So y'all can. Oh man.
Yeah, it would take.
Yeah,
honestly,
hey,
it would take a long
when
time
I-
for it to do anything. But yeah, you could plug it. You could plug stuff into it. Yeah. What kind of
So,
watch are you
me
rocking,
being a,
Devin? I want to see what your watch. What do you have a watch?
Bare-wristed.
Youth,
I don't-
the youth,
I just-
Kevin
I just
Dixie. Look at
check
that.
my phone.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't care about these things.
Look.
They don't care.
No. Let me tell you.
They don't give a crap about time. Obviously.
No, I didn't want to like get into that. But when I used to be in I'll just say my underground lifestyle, every single summer I would buy a pair of Ray-Bans and a G-Shock every single summer, no matter what. And I just left those in the past when I I changed my lifestyle. So yeah, I stopped. I don't wear chains. I don't wear watches. I don't wear anything like that. I think all I got is, matter of fact, yeah, I'll gladly show this off. I got my Walk Talk America bracelets.
That's it.
I think it's on both wrists too.
Yeah.
Both wrists. So go to walktalkamerica.org/love and check your brain out. And
Okay.
reach out for help.
Listen, I understand what you're trying to say, but come on, man. Why you gotta hate on watches? You can at
I'm
least.
not. I
get
have an Invicta. I have an Invicta that my grandfather left for me after he passed, so I wear that on occasions. But I just got out of the vanities like that. I'm a minimalist now, so
Oh,
I don't
okay.
want to lose stuff.
Yeah, he's a Zen.
And
he's
that
a Zen
is
man.
part of the reason. Part of the reason why I would have to buy one and a pair of Ray-Bans every summer is because I'd lose them somewhere along the lines. But yeah, I used to have every pair of Jordans I had, and Katie, me and him have talked about this. Every pair of Jordans I had a G-Shock to go with it. So
Yeah. No, that's cool. G-Shock has some cool stuff out there. I think Swatch watches are cool too. They're not expensive. You know?
Yeah.
And you can get automatics from Swatch as well, which I like an automatic. You can actually look at the gears and all that doing stuff. So, and then people are talking about watches. Man Against the Masses says my truck has an actual carburetor, so he's ready for the apocalypse. EMP proof right there. You know, so there you go. All right, so let's see here, Kevin Dixie. What are you thinking about? You look like you've got some deep thoughts going through the cranium.
Oh no, man, no, I'm actually pretty chill. I'm just ready to get to Richmond and get this thing popping. I really want people to come out to that and support, right? And I think it's imperative for many reasons, but we also have to, with this whole, COVID thing going on, we also have to make sure that anytime we can get together and kind of keep energy and synergy moving forward, that we need to take the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's good to get out there and see. Let me ask you guys this while we still have time. Have you posted this event on social media somewhere?
Yeah,
have you guys
on
done it yet?
It's just completely shadow banned, but yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
But
it's Trenchwork Chronicles, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here, let me show the folks.
Kings to Kings page.
So look, Trenchwork Chronicles. This is where you will find it. There it is, right there. For the folks out there that have Instagram, go to this post and like it right now. Trenchwork Chronicles. I'll just go back and show you guys.
And if you look, the link is right there in my bio.
Okay, hold on. Right in the bio, that's the link to the Evan Bright event right there that you guys can go to. So listen, you can just, for the folks who are watching this right now, you can help us out by just going to your Instagram account and liking this. And look, I'm going to comment on it also. If you really want to get this going, you got to comment. So I'm going to say thanks for coming on the show, coming on the podcast. We can all do that right now and help this get this post out there. I don't know if Kevin has done it yet, but I'm assuming, what is it, Kevin Dixie? That's what I usually. It's NOC. There you go.
The real NOC. You should be able to click my stories, and it should come right up.
Oh, it's on the stories. That's that one, right? Stories. Is that the stories right there?
No, I think you got to click the icon.
Click his profile picture.
His profile picture.
Click the profile picture.
Okay, there you go. Boom.
Click it again.
Click it again.
Hold on, that one's about to expire.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. No, don't go anywhere. Click it again.
Oh, click it again? Okay, there you go.
Okay. Let that one time. Okay. That one to time out here in a second.
There you go. Boom.
There
right
it
there.
is, right there. Bam.
Yeah, so let me see. I'm trying to. How do I. Is there a way to.
Copy the link?
Yeah, copy the link. That's how you can share it. I'm trying to see if I can give it love or whatever here. So I'm gonna try to get in there and share this myself. But you guys go follow Kevin Dixie on the real NOC on IG, and then Trenchwork Chronicles. That's let's see, Trenchwork Chronicles right there.
And again, just to add full transparency, me, KD, and who else was it? I don't know if Hank was on that show, but we infiltrated John Crump's show one day. And KD put the challenge out to Gun Owners of America directly. It was like, where are y'all at? And not long after that, they hit me and was like, yo, like, what ideas do y'all have? Like, this is what we're trying to accomplish. What do you have for us? And I gave them an idea. There was a little bit of back and forth to get it done, but ultimately they got it done. So again, shout out to them. And this is what we want to see them continue to do, and organizations like them, to continue to put the resources directly in the places to combat gun control from the cultural standpoint. And that means going behind enemy lines in places like Richmond, Virginia, and teaching these type of classes. So I would love for them to just continue to do this type of work. And yeah, I'm all for it. Anytime they want to, we can get it done.
Yeah, I think GOA is trying to step up and get some things done here. Obviously, they're not as big as some other organizations that are out there, but they are doing things. I think there's other people that are doing stuff, but kudos to you guys for even pushing them on it. That's what it takes, Kevin. Let me get this in from Vanessa Kitty, and then I'm going to go and get the final comments from these guys. Vanessa Kitty says, my brother and I bought the first Jordans He still has his with original box and paper. There you go.
Man, that's cool. That's worth some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, true shit.
Yeah. I wonder
put those in the vault.
A baby Jordan's going to be worth anything. You know, like, remember how people were getting their baby Jordans?
If they're originals.
Yeah, I think that still goes on, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't know what babies know, but I don't think it's about the babies, though. Okay, so listen. Kevin Dixie and Devin of Trenchwork Chronicles. I'm going to start with Devin. Tell the folks out there, we were just going over one of them, but how can the folks find this event, support you and things, be able to communicate with you and all that? By the way, I saw that AP Reloading put up arlife2018.com, so that's one of your things, but go ahead and hit the people with all your different stuff.
You can follow all of my pages on Twitter. You can find me at Trenchwork Chronicles. Instagram, you can find me at Trenchwork Chronicles and Kids the Kings. Both the flyer and the link is in both on the pages and in both of the bios on both of those pages, Kids the Kings and Trenchwork Chronicles. You can follow me on Facebook. I think I have a fan page for Trenchwork Chronicles there as well. But you can catch me normally Friday nights on Blog Talk Radio from 8 to 9, interviewing people similar to what you do, Hank, podcasting. Other than that, that's basically it. Yeah, just make sure you come out to Richmond October 24th at Artworks Inc., 11 to 5 p.m., a free event, and y'all get food.
Yeah, so, at an art gallery, no less. This would make an awesome date. If you're married, a great date to take your wife out on. If you're not married and you got a young chick that you want to impress.
All the dudes, think about that. If you took your girl to a training class at an art gallery where she gets food, hey,
that's lyrics.
On a Sunday, get it done.
Yeah, that's lyrics. Respect to that. Armin and Axis gave us some money. He says, peace to all, stay 2A strong out there. Kevin Dixie, I know we did show the real NOC. That's on IG. You go live there. Did they give you back your live or what? I never know.
I got it back.
You get it, you lose
punishment.
It. Okay.
Yeah, I got off punishment.
Yeah, tell the people what you got going.
The real NOC on all your social media platforms. The one I'm most active on is Instagram. Keep up with it. That includes YouTube. YouTube is about to get a relaunch on the real NOC, so I've been even thanks to some advice Hank gave me, we've invested in some different camera equipment. We have those things on site, so got a production team now, so we're really going to be cranking out some gun content that's somewhat traditional, but most of it is going to be going in places that I don't think that we've really went into when it comes to guns and why we choose certain guns and training aspects and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you already know that's coming. The other project that is coming out this year is Stogies and Straps. So on YouTube, it's Stogies, the and symbol, Straps. Go ahead and follow the page. There's not one video up there now. We start recording in studio with Stogies and Straps in the next, right about the next 30 days. So that will be the podcast is coming out, and that will be all in person. So we got some pretty cool people lined up, from some people you know from the 2A industry, people you do not know. We're going to have everybody from politicians, athletes, entertainers, 2A people, all the way down to I'm working on some adult stars to actually come on and talk about their life, how they got into it, things to consider and stuff like that. So we're going to have a really well-rounded conversation in studio. It's set in a 1920s speakeasy, so it's going to be real authentic and kind of like old school to look at it. But yeah, so check that out. Other than that, that's how you and nootherchoice.com. Please go to the website. You guys want to support a 2A advocate over there. There's optics, all your gun accessories, magazines, the whole 9 yards, along with the swag that I offer. That will also be tripling in options within the next 30 days. So yeah, you go over to nootherchoice.com, and you can also obviously sign up for training classes. If you want training in your area, it is very easy. You have to take a little bit of initiative. We need a range, and we got to round up at least 10 people, and that's pretty simple. So just shoot an email to info@nootherchoice.com. The title line is I want training in my area, and let me know you got a range, and we can go from there. Absolutely.
And Lola said this, thanks Devin, thanks Kevin for putting in the work. And I agree with that. Both of these gentlemen here are working very hard. You probably don't see all of it because there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I know especially with Devin, he's working really hard behind the scenes doing a lot of stuff, as well as his podcast, Trenchwork Chronicles, that you guys should check out. But Kevin Dixie, you do see Kevin Dixie in front of things doing a lot of stuff, right? But he's also working really hard behind the scenes as well. And I know not everyone necessarily sees that. So I would definitely give my endorsement to both of these guys. And Kevin, I know that you still need support, right?
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Yeah, please support him. Whatever it is you have, man. That's the way I feel about it. If you're on Instagram, go over there, follow him, support the things that he's doing there or wherever he is. I feel like that for both of these guys. Same thing, like 2A EDU is out there and he's thanking us. I know he's doing a lot of things. And I agree with Richard Monder, who says thank you as well. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll in the end, and I'm going to come back here. Who's dropping the words of wisdom tonight? Devin. Okay, Devin, right. You got to come up with the words of wisdom. Thanks to everyone out there watching. Yeah, go ahead. Franklin Armory, big thanks to those guys for supporting us here. I really appreciate their support, as well as all the work that they do for the Second Amendment, whether or not you guys see that. We're going to be back tomorrow. Big thanks to Kevin Dixie, as well as Devin of Trenchwork Chronicles for coming out here. And, I really appreciate it, all the support that you guys have given us. All right, I'm going to run in the end. We're coming right back with words of wisdom. So let's do this. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up here, subscribe. We're going to rip the audio out of this and throw it up on iTunes, so you will find it for or anywhere that you guys listen to audio podcasts from. So there you go. Words of wisdom, Devin.
I got 3 things for you guys. One is to quote DMX. Trust people to be themselves. That, honestly, when I heard that literally cut so much stress out of my life. Trust people to be themselves and don't let them get you out of your character. 2, I don't remember where I heard this, but I remember hearing somebody say, don't try to reinvent the wheel, just put rims on the bitch. So if you like something and you support something, figure out a way to be an asset to it. And don't try to change it and take over. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of disrespectful. So just try to be an asset to the best of your ability. And just always remain objective and adhere to truth. Not your truth, not telling a truth, the actual objective truth. And there's power in transparency, for sure.
Awesome. Well said. Well said. Thanks to both of you gentlemen. You guys stay right there. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow. We're out. Peace.